Hello everybody and welcome back. My name is Kari and I'm not sure which order these videos are going out in, but I'm back. I have a couple of outdated videos. I mean the truly outdated ones aren't going to go up, but I have at least, I think, 2 that will go up that I filmed like 6 months ago, so we're doing great. Needed to leave from my mental health. Just really didn't have the motivation, didn't want to, so I didn't, because that's an option. But today I feel like filming, so we're here. I don't know how often my videos are going to come out going forward. At the most it'll be once a week, might be twice a month, unclear, don't care. Click the bell if you want to be notified. This is my life. But, as I say in my other video, again, not sure which order, I am not doing the strict TBR thing, or even listing, you know, these are 5 books that I will read this month because I don't want to anymore. However, I do still enjoy the idea of, you know, having a list of books from which I can choose. Granted, I have almost 2,000 books from which I can choose, but that is beside the point. So, this month's theme, last month's was classics, go check out the wrap-up that probably is going to go up last. If you want to hear more about that. This month is Abby. If you don't know who Abby of Pelennor is, go check her out, always linked down below. She's amazing, she's fantastic. I think she's on a brief hiatus right now. She's had some stuff going on in her life. So not even remotely begrudging her that. I miss her videos, always, but she needs to take time for her mental health. So, that said, we are very bad influences on each other. Because we have very similar reading tastes, which means that when she posts a video, I go, shit, I just added 3 more books to my list, and vice versa. Which also means that I have so many books that she's bought for me, recommended to me, I've bought because of her, or some variation of that. Again, and vice versa. So, this month I am reading books that fall into one of those categories. Some of them are books that I'm fairly certain she's mentioned on her channel and I put on my list because of her, but it might be just that I associate with her even though she's maybe mentioned it once or not at all. Entirely possible. These are books that I may read in April. We are in May. It doesn't mean I'm going to read all of these because that would be ridiculous. First one is The Revolution of Marina M. by Janet Fitch. This is a book that she bought me for Christmas, for my birthday. I don't know, she bought me. We've exchanged a lot of books. Like a lot of books. This one is St. Petersburg, 1916. Okay, great. So, we follow a wow, as I whack myself in the head. A young woman named Marina in 1916 St. Petersburg, and unless you've been living under a rock in all of your history classes, they kind of go through a revolution and kill the royal family in 1917. So, we're gonna watch that unfold. Next up is one that I bought because of her. I think. I don't remember anymore which entirely I've bought and which she's given me because we give each other a lot of books and then I buy a lot. Yeah, it's a whole thing. But anyway, she's recommended The Last Roundhead by Jamal Evans. I think she gifted this one to me, which is 1642 English Civil War. Awesome. So Blandford Candy, which is quite a name, goes to London, joins the Roundhead army to fight against the king. Bad choice. Well, actually, no, it's a good choice then, but they come back. That's not the point. He fights, he becomes a spy for the cause, and uncovers royalist plots. Lots of stuff happens. Abby loves these, and when it comes to British history, I tend to focus on the American Revolution period, or Elizabeth I. Not so much Charles I and the whole losing his head thing. So this ought to be really good. This one I know I bought because of her. It's a library book, and that is Arthur and the Seeing Stone by Kevin Crossley Holland. I love Arthurian retellings. She said it was pretty good, so I think I got it for $2. Another one she bought me, and I only know that because it was recent, The Clockmaker's Daughter by Kate Morton. This is a historical fiction about a clockmaker's daughter, I would assume. 1862 in London. Oh good, it's a murder mystery with a missing watch. Love that. This one I bought because of her. The Bone Season. I keep promising her I'm gonna read it, and at some point I will. But we both know that it takes us a long time to get to the books on our shelves for many, many reasons, but this is an option this month. This is a fantasy, science fiction, unclear. I've just been told it's really good. Then the series that I'm pretty sure she might actually kill me for not reading one day, the Pelennor series. She loves these, in case you couldn't tell from her channel name, Abby of Pelennor. Yeah. I've read the first one, loved it, very Lord of the Rings-esque, and I really want to continue it. I just haven't gotten to it yet because so many books. However, these are the last three in the series: the Riddle, the Crow, and the Singing. It's a good thing I looked at the sides. I was going to read The Crown from the back. And hopefully I can get through at least one of these. I bought this first, and then I bought it for her. That's how it's connected in my brain, and that is We Hunt the Flame by Hafsa Faizal. This is a fantasy duology. I have both books. I think she has both books. She at least has the first one because I bought it for her, like I said. It sounds really good. It is a fantasy. That's all I remember right now. And I don't really care, because I know that it sounded good, and this cover is pretty, and I really want to read it. So, another of her favorite series, Queendom of the Seven Lakes. This is the duology. I've read the first one, so I really only have to read the second half, which is King of the Seven Lakes by A.B. Endicott. I do really want to read this. I enjoyed the first one. Apparently it's better if you read the second one. I know Abby gives them all 5 stars because she adores them, and I can see why they're really interesting books, having only read the first one. But I want to finish this duology so that I can get further into the world as a whole, because there's books about a character in here that I really like, and I'm very curious, but I need to at least finish this duology first. Oh yeah, that one's about an assassin and a prince. Then we have The Spy Masters: How the CIA Directors Shape History in the Future by Chris Whipple. This one, I don't think she's recommended specifically, but there was one that was similar to this that her dad read that she read, and so in my head this is just forever associated with her. But it's a non-fiction about the CIA, in case you couldn't tell. Then we have another of her favorite series, which is Skullduggery Pleasant by Derek Landy. I've read book 1, so these are book 2, Playing with Fire, and book 3, The Faceless Ones. 11-year-old Irish girl at the start of the first one meets up with a skeleton detective. Shit happens. I really enjoyed these books. I thought they were hilarious. They were very, very dry humor, and I adore it. So I want to finish them, or, you know, the 2 I have, and I think my library has them from there, so I can start that. A nonfiction, she's read and talked about The Immortal Life of Henrietta Lacks by Rebecca Skloot. White scientist took black woman's DNA and made hundreds of breakthroughs with it, but didn't tell her or pay for it or get her consent or, you know, anything that they're actually supposed to do in science. And this tells that story, which sounds fascinating. I have not read it yet, obviously, or it wouldn't be on this TBR. So yeah, that one. Abby went to school for volcanology. I mean, specifically her master's is in geology, but she really likes volcanology, and her dissertation, thesis, I don't know what you call it, I don't remember, but her big paper at the end was about Vesuvius and lava splatters? Spatters? Lava blobs flying. I'm sorry, Abby. And so I bought this one when I was still in Rochester for some more than 2 years ago now. And it is Vesuvius, a biography by Alwyn Scarth. This is a nonfiction about Vesuvius and all of the eruptions it's had over the years. I got this because Abby is very interested in Vesuvius, and why not? Also, if you're looking for something about volcanoes, I've already read this one, but super volcanoes. It's fantastic. This probably qualifies as any of these books, but Gallant by V.E. Schwab. I didn't like The Life of Addie LaRue. Actually abhorred it. It was awful, and so I have no real inclination to read Gallant by V.E. Schwab. However, Abby also has the Illumicrate version, which is why it's so pretty on the spine, on the pages. And I've been doing decently well keeping up with Illumicrate versions because she's reading them as well. So there are some other Illumicrate books that I got in the fall that I haven't read yet that I really should, and that I want to read. They sound good. So whether or not I get to this one is really a question for the ages, but the other Illumicrate books that I'm not going to show you, because that's a lot of books, I very well might get to. And no, I don't have a clue what Gallant is about, because in case you hadn't noticed, I don't really like V.E. Schwab's writing. Then we have another nonfiction that she's talked about, Without You There Is No Us by Suki Kim. This is a woman who goes into North Korean elite schools and teaches there. It sounds fascinating, and this ties into the last book, which is How the last book relates to Abby. So Abby has read this one and talked about this. She really enjoyed it, therefore I bought it and want to read it. The last book is In Order to Live by Yeonmi Park. I'm fairly certain Abby has not read this or talked about it on her channel. Another nonfiction about a girl who escaped North Korea when she was young. She has a YouTube channel now, The Voice of North Korea, if I'm not mistaken. And this one I got at the library in Rochester, so it was pretty cheap. But I'm reading this for my book club this month, and since this one and the penultimate one there are both about North Korea, they fit very well, and since that one came from Abby, I'm associating this one with Abby, and I'm probably going to read them back to back, therefore it counts. That's many of, I can't say all because I know for a fact that's not all of the books inspired by, bought by, recommended by, what have you, Abby. But that's a lot of the books. And I am very excited to read them. Again, I won't read all of these because that's just ridiculous, and I have a book from my boss that I'm borrowing that I want to read about 5 naval battles that shaped the States. I have a Brandon Sanderson book because I'm reading those now. I have books from my cousin that she wants me to read. I'm currently reading a book about oil riggers in the North Sea. So I mean, there's a lot going on in my life. I want to read some Spanish poetry by either Neruda or Darío because they're good. Or Lorca. Lorca is also excellent. Anyway, there's a lot of books I want to read, but theme-wise, Abby is what I'm going with. And there is a whole diversity of books there, which is absolutely perfect. Because that means I can read whatever the hell I want. And it's just glorious. So, yeah. Stick around to see what I read, because I don't know what I'm reading other than potentially some of these books. And I will see you in my next video. Bye!